13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
We have a lot of fog over central Georgia right now. Very dense, very heavy. Be careful out there. I'll talk about when it all ends coming up.
The Air Force Base is bringing more employment opportunities to the area. We tell you what's to come with that and how building a school helps the mission's workforce.
I think it speaks volumes of preserving our history.
And we show you how Central Georgia honored the first veteran in Macon who gave their life for our country in the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Plus, Dublin native Quincy Howard won big on the Wheel of Fortune. In this week's Scene 13, he breaks down his very own journey and tells you how he prepared for his moment in the spotlight.
Good Thursday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:32 here on this December the 8th. Happy Baby Friday. Throughout the morning, the live camera over Macon, Jordan, has gotten progressively worse. When are we expecting this fog to lift?
So the advisory ends around 9 o'clock, but we could see that fog lift as early as 8:30, but could also extend later even into 9:30. But that advisory is typically when it's very dense and very consistent fog like we have been seeing just about all morning. Temperatures out there in the upper 50s. That dew point should also be in the upper 50s because that's why we are seeing that fog when that temperature and dew point kind of meet there. And we can kind of see where all the fog is. Some is light, some is heavy. Heavier fog for Hancock, Washington, and Johnson County. Meanwhile, more lighter fog for everywhere else. It was like Crisp and Dooley County seeing a little bit more heavier fog near Thomaston as well in Upton County. So it's kind of hit or miss, but nevertheless very foggy out there. Just be careful out there in the roadways. Again, that advisory ends at 9 a.m. So be extra careful. The reason we are seeing all of this because we saw some rain in northern Alabama and northern Georgia. The wind is picking up that fog that was generated from that rain and moving it over into central Georgia, and temperatures as a result are going to stick around the upper 50s and the lower 60s across central Georgia, and dew points are going to remain up as well. Having a look at your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Jordan. We'll check in with you soon. This morning, Middle Georgia State University is preparing a new workforce path for Robins Air Force Base. The base ABMS building is being built now to host a new mission, and Middle Georgia State University is ready to support them. Robins Air Force Base is phasing out J-STARS, the Air Force's flying surveillance unit. This means Central Georgia is now preparing for a new mission, a new high-tech command called the Advanced Battlefield Management System, or simply ABMS. Middle Georgia State University President Christopher Blake says it's an exciting time to be a Knight. Soon the school will add a computer science degree, which could help mission workforces.
We want to be partners so that our graduates can work at the base, whether it's in aviation or logistics or information technology or now computer science, that we can be part of that whole ABMS new way of thinking about mission, and we stand ready to be partners in that mission.
Blake says many programs, all of which will be building a reliable workforce for the base. All J-STAR planes should be gone by the end of 2024. Right now, let's take a closer look at Robins Air Force Base, the economic engine that drives Houston County and Central Georgia's largest employer. Here are some facts on Robins from its 2021 Economic Impact Statement. More than 23,000 employees punch the clock at Robins each week. Around 15,000 are civilian employees, more than 5,600 are active duty military, and more than 2,700 others are contract workers. The total payroll around $4 billion just last year. And the base hands out more than $900 million a year in contracts to Georgia companies. About a quarter of that stays close to home in Bibb and Houston counties. Across the state, Georgia U.S. Senator John Alsaw's bipartisan bill to prevent and treat opioid addictions is on its way to becoming law. The bill, co-sponsored by Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, was approved by the Senate last year and has now passed the House. The bill is designed to help rural communities suffering a high level of opioid overdoses respond to the crisis using federal funds. It now heads to President Joe Biden's desk to be signed. And in Cobb County, police say one person was shot at a Walmart. It happened yesterday at a Walmart on Chastain Meadows Parkway around 12:45 p.m. Cobb police say there were several injuries, but it was not an active shooter situation. Police believe the shooting broke out between two groups that knew each other outside of the store. Police held several people that were in the store when the shooting happened. It's 6:36 right here in Central Georgia. People honored a veteran who died in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Back in 2021, we told you about damage to the headstone of George Vining. He was the first Macon man to die in World War II. George Vining lived in Macon's Pleasant Hill area and joined the Navy in 1940. He died in the attack on Pearl Harbor a year later. His remains weren't laid to rest in the cemetery until October of 1947. Yolanda Lattimore with Macon Cemetery Preservation Corporation says it was a great idea to restore Vining's original headstone.
I think it speaks volumes of preserving our history, not only his burial site, but preserving our history so that we can share it, especially with the young people. They need to know how we contributed to society, and when I say we, people of color.
Macon's Vining Heights neighborhood off of Anthony Road is named for him, as is Vining Circle. Well, in Monroe County, the community of Bolingbrook is making sure one toddler has a special first Christmas. 9-month-old Nalani Proctor's mother is Tori Proctor, who was found strangled at Lake Juliet back in March. Her boyfriend, Jadarius Watts, is charged with her murder. The Bolingbrook Community Club came together to honor Nalani in their Christmas parade this Saturday. She is their honorary, get this, Little Miss Christmas Bolingbrook, a title they've never had and may not have again. Folks in the town have donated gifts to make sure she is well taken care of this holiday season. Tori's former co-worker and friend says the support brings her to tears.
For people to still be like acknowledging her and her daughter is just, it's heartwarming because, you know, her name will forever live on through her daughter. So that's just so comforting.
Well, you can support that little girl and see Santa in the Bolingbrook Christmas Parade on Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Gregory Phillips with the Community Club says you can still help out by bringing wrap gifts to the club at 9 a.m. Saturday before the parade.
Through art, you can express like every last one of your feelings that you feel in your heart, and you can just express it to the world.
Amen. A Macon arts program for grade school children will work towards finishing a mural as it focuses on fighting violence through art. Heart and Soul workshops host sessions during school breaks for student ages 6 to 12 to learn about art while serving the community. The organizers say it's all about showing kids it's okay to be themselves. Most recently, the 27 students learned how to clean shoes and donated dozens of pairs to the Brookdale Resource Center. Their current project, finishing a mural in Fort Hawkins on a wall blighted just a couple months ago.
Everybody in the community is stopping, giving them money, bringing them lunch, bringing them food. So they kind of felt like, okay, I'm empowered. Like, I can do something to change the neighborhood. I can do something to change the community. I love that they're doing that there. The Community Foundation of Central Georgia awarded the program $25,000 in MVP grants this year. On December the 21st, the students will learn about photography and work on finishing up that mural. Well, some of you started asking, can the 50,000-year-old zombie virus that was revived from Siberian permafrost infect humans? Coming up at 6:45, we verify that claim and we break it down for you. Plus, our morning reporter TJ Anthony standing by to tell you about someone from the DUB, aka Dublin, who won big. Make sure you stay with us so you can hear that story and how it all happened on today's Scene 13. Time's now 6:39 here on your Thursday morning. Jordan, definitely a morning anybody on their way to work or school, you want to take your time because we're seeing a lot of fog out there now.
Yes, quite a bit, and that includes just about all of Central Georgia. A very few hit or miss spots for the most part, though. Either way I go, we have a dense fog advisory in effect for 9 a.m. And yeah, this is a live camera. Can you guess where it is, though? It's actually downtown in Macon, and you can see a few lights here. You can notice a street there. You have the red light. I'm not even sure what those lights are, but the tree, you can't even see it. It was somewhere over here. But very dense fog, as you can see. This is now a black screen. Macon sitting at 57 degrees, dew point at 56 degrees. And there's all that fog that I was talking about in terms of visibility. You can see that much of Central Georgia, there's an update there, is in that fog area. You kind of see Taylor County and Macon County are kind of seeing less fog compared to everywhere else, but nevertheless, very foggy out there. Be careful out there in the roadways. Not only is it hard to see out there, but you also have to realize that the streets are very wet. And so another reason to take your time and slow down. That fog advisory should end around 9 a.m. But hey, at least there's no rain out there on the radar. Now we have a high pressure to our south, low pressure to our north associated with a cold front. To our north is where all the moisture is. To our south is where all that drier, more stable areas, thanks to this high pressure that we have sitting here. So as we have over the next couple of hours and next couple of days, it's going to be this battle between this moisture, unstable stormy type weather compared to this drier, stable air that we have to our south. And you can see that here on the future view. We have lots of cloud cover. The rain chances are up to our north. Meanwhile, a little bit more stable condition down here towards our south. A few rain chances as we head throughout the day today, but although very not likely, I think I only put a 10% chance of rain. As you can see, little clouds here and there, but more clouds will start to encompass much of central Georgia as we head into tomorrow morning, along with some fog and that potential for rain chances, especially for some of our northern counties. So Jasper and Putnam County, get ready for it. We are in a severe drought for some of our northern counties as well. So this is actually some pretty good, much needed rain, but we will be under some dense cloud cover over the next few days as we head over into the weekend. Now, current temperatures are in the upper 50s, the lower 60s in some parts of central Georgia, and dew points are also in the upper 50s, lower 60s, which means it's very humid, muggy, sticky even outside. Now, in terms of temperatures, we actually broke a record yesterday. That high was 81 degrees. The record broken was at 79 degrees, and that was back in 1951. Here's your 7-day forecast. Temperature highs dropping back to the 60s as we head into the beginning of next week, with the rain chances just about all week long.